If you're planning a trip to Mallorca and you're looking to explore what the island has to offer, you're probably wondering, what are Mallorca's most overhyped tourist spots really like? How big are the queues? Are they expensive? And most importantly, are they still worth a visit? We recently visited in late September, early October 2025 and stayed in the northern half of the island. We visited for 4 days and packed in as much as we could each morning, leaving our afternoons free for relaxing and enjoying the beach. This guide will include spots like Port de Sóller, Cap de Formentor and the capital, Palma. Watch till the end for our final verdict on each spot and whether or not you should add these to your itinerary next year. This is actually our first travel video, so if you find it useful, let us know. We've got more videos to come and more trips planned. Before we start, it's worth pointing out that we rented a car from Palma Airport. I made a separate video on this and our experience, so if you're looking to do the same but you're not sure who to rent from, the prices and what it's like to drive on the island, go and check that one out. In no particular order, the first place on our list is Alcúdia Market. Market day in Alcúdia is on Tuesdays and lasts all day. If strolling around the stalls and shopping for some quirky gifts or local fresh food is for you, Alcúdia should definitely be on your list. We found souvenirs, toys, lots of fresh fruit and veg, plus plenty of clothes on offer. We're not massive shoppers, but there's always something quite therapeutic about wandering around and being nosy. However, be prepared for crowds, and that's an understatement. We went on the last day in September, and as you can see, it is full, so God knows what it's like during peak season. As far as the town itself goes, the architecture was stunning. The town is surrounded by medieval walls, which you can walk along and escape the busy market. Although it wasn't long before queues built up for this too. It's worth it though for the sea and mountain views, and to see the town from a slightly different angle. Would we visit again? Yes, but not on market day. It's worth noting that we visited around 11 AM, which is pretty much peak time for market days. We still managed to park in a nearby off-road car park. This was free and very easy to find. Our advice would be to explore the small side streets and take a walk around the walls. Take in the views and the architecture and find a nice spot to eat. Alcúdia town is a very nice afternoon or evening spot, and yes, come for the market too if that is a bit of you. After visiting Alcúdia Market, we took a short drive down to Port d'Alcúdia. This is one of the more popular seaside towns in the north of the island, and you can see why. These views across the beach are why it's a must visit. The beach here never got overly full, although we didn't visit peak season. It felt large and open enough for everyone to enjoy their own space. We loved these restaurants and beach clubs right on the sand. The town was definitely buzzing, with plenty of shops and restaurants. Plus, this small ice cream place right opposite the marina. It was roughly €4.50 each with 2 scoops, which we found is a pretty common price in each place we went on the island. The port had some really nice walks along the beach and the marina. There are lots of jet skis, boat trips, kayaks for hire, and excursions to choose from, and the prices seemed pretty reasonable. We did have dinner in a place called Muddy's, which is an American barbecue-style restaurant, raised up and overlooking the beach area. If you like burgers, ribs and steak, this is a great find. We went a bit rogue and went more Mexican than American with chicken fajitas and loaded nachos. This set us back roughly €30, including a soft drink each. Parking in Port d'Alcúdia was a little bit tricky. The main car park was totally full with quite a few of us trying to find spaces. However, we drove about 2 minutes to a small car park near a hotel and always managed to get a space whenever we visited. Overall, we would visit the seaside town again. It's a nice buzzing place with plenty to do, whilst also having a relaxed and open vibe to it. Next up is Sóller and Port de Sóller. There are quite a few ways to get to Sóller. One popular choice is the train from Palma, which looked quite expensive to us at roughly €40 each, and we assumed would bring with it overwhelming queues when we got to Sóller. This theory was eventually confirmed when we returned later on in the day. A train had just arrived from Palma, and the tram platform was absolutely heaving. We opted to drive there instead, which wasn't too bad. A couple of narrow roads on the way, but nothing worse than some English countryside road you get here. Once you're in Sóller, however, one wrong turn and it's like you're driving down a pathway barely wide enough for pedestrians. To top it off, the car park we had navigated to was totally full. This was one of the closest to the main square, so it was understandable. I would recommend instead trying the car park near the bus stop right at the edge of the town. It's one of the first ones you come to. It's only about a 5-minute longer walk, but it's easy to access and reasonably priced. We paid around €10 for most of the day. We arrived just before 11 AM and there were quite a few spaces free. From there, we recommend taking a walk down to the main square and going straight to the tram to Port de Sóller. We found that the later you get the tram, the busier it is, and you can always explore the town itself when you return. You wait for the tram in this area, just in front of a small bakery. Tram tickets are only available on board. A member of staff will walk through each carriage and take your money. Cash or card are accepted. Tickets were €10 each for a single, so not the cheapest. If you wanted to save a bit of money, there is a bus that you can catch back to Sóller. Trams run every 30 minutes, and we found them to be pretty punctual. Carriages do fill up, and you may need to stand. The ride itself was around 20 minutes long, and passed through some really nice scenery. It really felt like a proper authentic experience, and for us at 11:30 it wasn't overly busy. This would probably be different however at peak season. For the best views, get yourself a seat on the left side so you can see the sea as the tram enters the port. The tram drops you off along the main strip. Everything you need is pretty much within a short walk from the tram stop. A huge choice of bars, restaurants and plenty of gift shops, lots of boat trips plus the beach area. This was pretty busy when we arrived, so again, worth getting there before 11 if you want a good spot to sunbathe. We'd only planned a quick visit here, so just had a wander around. We headed north from the tram stop and found some really nice looking restaurants, which are quieter and situated on a hill, giving you some really unique views that a lot of people tend to miss. We continued to the top of the hill towards the Port de Sóller Sea Museum. This was a nice little stop where you can look around some model boats, but mostly just catch your breath in the air-conditioned room, as all the information is in Spanish. There's also a free toilet next door, which is handy. The main reason for heading up here though was for these views over the port. Turn around and you've got some great views over the ocean. We 100% recommend walking up here as it was totally empty when we arrived. A really nice way to escape the noise. A great place to sit with a snack and take everything in. It's also quite a shady spot, which is ideal given the climb is a little steep. These little free viewpoints tucked out of the way are always my favourite spots on islands like Mallorca. Port de Sóller is one of those places you could visit for just a couple of hours or the whole day. If it's just a short visit you're after, I definitely say 2 hours is plenty of time to walk around the main marina, have a drink and a snack and take in the views. The main attraction that brings people here from TikTok really is the tram anyway. We decided to get the tram back to Sóller after about 3 hours, just after lunchtime. There were plenty of seats this time, but we chose to hang around at the back to take in the last few views of the port as we drove away. If you get the chance to do this, I definitely recommend. When the tram pulls back into Sóller, be prepared to be surrounded by cameras of people trying to get that TikTok video. The town itself is quite small and crowded, but is really stunning. There's some really nice restaurants and bars along the tramway which looked really nice and actually not overly full. You can also take a walk around some of the side streets to find little shops, bakeries and gelato bars. Again, the main attraction here really is the tram, so no need to spend much longer than an hour or so. Would we come back to Sóller and Port de Sóller? 100% yes, but we would come much earlier, maybe between 9 and 10 AM next time, and perhaps spend some time on the beach area before it gets too busy. We would even come for dinner as well, as there are so many restaurants to choose from. As for the tram itself, I would perhaps only ride it one way and get the bus back, as it's quite pricey when there's 2 or 3 of you. Next up is Cap de Formentor, the northernmost point of the island. It's accessed by a series of winding roads and is home to the largest working lighthouse in the Balearic Islands. It's famous for its stunning sunsets and sunrises, which is what we went for. There are a few ways to get there depending on the time you go. If you want to drive all the way up, you'll need to plan ahead, as the road will be closed between 10 AM and 10 PM between the 1st of June and the 31st of October. This means if you do go up for sunrise, you will need to be out by 10 AM or you will face a hefty fine. A lot of people warned us of this, but when researching where the road closure actually begins, we found very little information. It's useful to know this so you can work out how long you need to allow for the journey down. The barrier begins here and is around 17 minutes from the top of the road. There are cameras here, so don't try and chance it. The drive up is quite exciting, full of amazing views with the occasional sheer drop, which was a little sketchy. Look out for goats along the way, especially if you're travelling in the dark pre-sunrise. You'll also come across plenty of cyclists. I wouldn't recommend the drive for nervous drivers, especially those scared of heights. But for the majority of people, as long as you take care, it's really quite nice. We went on the 1st of October, so sunrise was around 7:45 AM. We arrived pretty much dead on, but I'd recommend arriving earlier, maybe 20 minutes. There is very little parking available, and we were lucky that we had just enough space to pull in at the side of the road. There were quite a few cars that arrived after us and had to turn round. As for the sunrise, it was amazing. Despite how many people were up there, it was really quiet and peaceful. Plenty of space along this wall to take it in. Blink and you miss it though. After about 5 minutes, it was quite high up. So, take it all in, make sure you're not watching it through your phone screen. The only thing that slightly ruined the experience was the drones flying overhead. If sunrise chasing isn't for you, then you can take a public bus to the top anytime after 10 AM. This runs from Alcúdia and right through Port de Pollença. There is also a bus stop and car park right before the barrier, so you can drive up to that point at any time during the day. Based on others' experiences, the usual rule of arrive early to avoid disappointment applies. The benefit of getting the bus is that you won't miss out on any of the views due to concentrating on the road. That being said, there are quite a few points where you can pull off at the side of the road and take in different views. There is a small cafe at the top and a few areas to walk around, but you won't need any longer than an hour there, I'd say. We would definitely visit again. The views were amazing and the sunrise made it so worth the early wake up. I think we were a bit lucky to get one of the last parking spaces, so we'd probably arrive maybe 20 or 30 minutes before the sunrise next time. If you're already visiting Cap de Formentor, the next place should definitely be added to your list. Mirador del Colomer is also on the same road, but it's before the barrier, so it can be accessed anytime. The car park is small, so you guessed it, arrive as early as possible. For us, arriving after watching the sunrise at 8:30, we found there was plenty of space, and actually most of the cars there were just the same people who had been watching the sunrise, same as us. The public bus also stops right here. Mirador del Colomer is a really unique viewpoint. Take a slow walk along the steps and take in the 360-degree views. The camera really doesn't do any of this justice. You'll eventually get to a dual-level viewing platform, and we found there was plenty of space at this time along the edge for everyone to look out at the views. Again, expect a drone pilot or two here. To be fair to this one, he was part of a wedding shoot. The walk up to the platform takes about 5 minutes if you're walking normally, but chances are you'll want to take your time. Overall, a really great and free stop-off point that we'd definitely recommend. If you've had enough of sea views, head over to Pollença, a town famous for its long, steep steps called Escales el Calvari. When you arrive in Pollença, there are a few large car parks which are free, but not too busy, just a few minutes walk to the town's main square. Here you'll find a few restaurants and a really nice, relaxed vibe. We had a wander around here and some of the side streets to take in the architecture before heading towards the steps. Before you get there, you'll come to another small square with some more small restaurants and shops. The steps look very steep and unachievable from the bottom. It's actually not as bad as it looks. You can take a break along the walls if you need to. In fact, we'd advise doing this even if you find it easy, so you can turn around and take in the views at each point. It was around 30 degrees when we went, which made it a bit challenging. Top tip would be to bring your own water with you to have at the top. When you eventually reach the top, first thing you'll want to do is turn around and take a look at the climb from the top. Take in all the views in the distance too. There's a small chapel at the top which you can sit quietly in. A good way to catch your breath and get some shade even if you're not religious. Just next door is a small shop that sells ice cream, water and snacks, so not the end of the world if you forget to bring your own. We only spent around 15 minutes at the top before heading down, which was more than plenty. Take a slow walk down, taking in all the views for the last time. Once you're down, that's pretty much it. Pollença is quite small, so not much to really do here. Overall, it was quite a nice walk and something different for us. Will we do it again? No, probably not, but it's one of those one and done places. The views are nice, but nothing groundbreaking. The town is nice, but not too much there for us to do, other than some restaurants. We're still glad that we visited here though, just for something different and a very cheap couple of hours out. Next on our list is sort of a bonus location because it's not really widely recommended by social media, but it happens to be where we're staying with family. Port de Pollença is a small seaside town with some amazing views. We love that you're surrounded by mountains and how the landscape wraps around the beaches and the marina. There are plenty of really nice restaurants and bars here, all along the waterfront, but also some tucked away in a small square. It's a really nice family spot. It's quiet and out of the way, and not overloaded with tourism. A top spot for us is the Lemon Lounge Bar, which is a cocktail bar open till late with entertainment and really nice cocktails. A great way to spend an evening. There's sunbed hire and plenty of water sports options. You can also grab the ferry to Formentor beach from here, among other excursions. Port de Pollença is such a great location, being very close to Alcúdia and Formentor. We will definitely be back here again. This is just a quick review of this one, but if you want a quieter, chilled vibe, but still with plenty to do, check this one out. We're finishing our list here at Palma. If it's shopping and exploring cities that you enjoy, definitely head over to the capital. I was really shocked at how big Palma actually is. I didn't expect it to feel like a proper mainland European city, with quite large, busy roads, plenty of shops, and lots of people. We arrived around 9:45 AM and couldn't believe how quiet it was. We heard stories of others struggling to park in the centre, so we opted for one of the more expensive underground car parks on the edge of the city, right near the cathedral. This was almost empty, to the point where we actually thought we weren't supposed to be in here. It's quite straightforward. Take a ticket from the barrier and pay at the kiosk on exit. Cash or card accepted. Expect to pay around €2 to €3 per hour for this one. This has to be one of the best exit views of an underground car park anywhere in the world. You walk out right in front of the cathedral and it's just a short walk up. The cathedral itself is amazing to look at from the outside. Plus you get some really nice views out to the port. If you arrive a bit later in the day, you can expect some souvenir salesmen lining the pathway. Sometimes these sorts of people are all in your face, but we didn't have any problems. Entry to the cathedral is quite pricey, especially if you want to go to the roof terraces too. We didn't think it was worth it personally, and we were happy to just enjoy it from the outside, especially as we'd been in many European cathedrals in the past, plus we're not overly religious. From the cathedral, take a short walk towards the central area, where you'll find shops and really nice architecture. Definitely spend a few hours looking around and grab some nice food. Overall, there isn't loads to do in the centre besides dining, shopping and drinking. Activity-wise, the main attraction is the cathedral. There are also loads of horse-drawn carriages available to take you on a tour of the city. We assumed these would be far too expensive, so we didn't even ask. There are a few museums and art galleries if that's your thing, plus the Royal Palace right by the cathedral. Would we visit again? Possibly. It might have been nice to go up the roof terraces in the cathedral if we weren't as money conscious. The palace might have been nice to wander around too, as well as the Museum of Mallorca. Ultimately, most people like us come to Mallorca to be by the sea or the mountains, outdoors, enjoying the sun, rather than exploring a city. Maybe it'd be nice on a rainy day though. That's the end of our list, so what's our final verdict on each spot? Overrated or worth a visit? Starting with Alcúdia Market, we're going to go overrated. Largely because of the level of crowds and the fact it was only October the 1st and not peak season, but also because we didn't actually massively rate the stalls there. The fresh fruit looked nice, but the selection of gifts and other things for tourists weren't amazing. We've been to better markets on other resorts such as Playa Blanca and Lanzarote. Port d'Alcúdia, we'd say, is worth a visit. The beach was so spacious, there was plenty of activities on offer, and the selection of shops and restaurants meant there was just something for everyone. Sóller and Port de Sóller were worth a visit. The tram was quirky and something you don't see everywhere. The views around the port were stunning and well worth it. Perhaps the town of Sóller should go on the overrated list, but if you actually want to ride the tram, then the town is nice to look around for an hour or so. Cap de Formentor and Mirador del Colomer are easily well worth a visit. If you plan ahead and make it for sunrise, you won't be disappointed. If, like us, you don't get time to visit the famous road down to Sa Calobra, the drive to Cap de Formentor will definitely make up for it. Pollença town and the walk up Escalas el Calvari were a nice day out, but probably belong on the overrated list. There's just not too much there, and although it has a nice quirky town square, the surrounding roads aren't that pretty. Ultimately, there are much nicer walks and viewpoints than this one on the island. Port de Pollença is well worth a visit. If it's a quieter and more relaxing break away from the crowds that you're after, it's got everything you need and more. And honestly, we could have spent our entire time here. Plus, its proximity and links to other local spots is very ideal. Lastly, Palma just about lands on the worth a visit list. The architecture and selection of shops and restaurants make it a nice day out if you're looking to take a break from the beaches and coves. There are plenty more spots on the island we'd love to explore but didn't get a chance. Sa Calobra and Calador being two of them. If you've got any other recommendations for us to try out, drop them below. If you found this useful, drop us a like and subscribe if you want to see more like this one. Let us know where we should travel to next. Thanks for watching, and on to the next trip.